It's a Fox News alert. Last night, President Trump fired that man, James Comey. Apparently, President Trump did give the heads up to a number of top officials in Washington, including Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, who in the last 2 minutes has just released a statement. He says, once the Senate receives a nomination, we will look forward to a full, fair, and timely confirmation process to fill the director position.
And the Wall Street Journal says Donald Trump fired James Comey because he never said aloud these three words: there's no ties to any Russian collusion connection. It has to do with the election.
Let's bring in Senator Rand Paul, who's obviously live there on the Hill. What's your reaction to all of this, Senator?
You know, I think it couldn't happen soon enough. I'd lost confidence in Comey a long time ago. In fact, I never even voted for his confirmation because I doubted his ability to run the FBI. But I would say that most of America thought that he botched the Clinton email scandal. All the Democrats thought he said too much, and all the Republicans thought he didn't do enough. So he had the confidence of almost no one. Chuck Schumer said 6 months ago that he had lost confidence in him. But I thought it was especially telling that in the letter that the Assistant Attorney General sent, he said that Eric Holder said that Comey had violated long-standing Department of Justice procedures. And I think without question that's true. And I think he politicized something by making way too many statements to the press. So I think it is time for new leadership at the FBI.
You just mentioned a moment ago that you had lost confidence in his ability to run the FBI, not taking into consideration the whole Hillary Clinton email scenario and stuff like that. In what way did he lose your confidence?
Well, there are a couple of other episodes. One of the prominent episodes where I really didn't like their reaction or lack of action was in the Orlando killing. You remember the mass murder that happened down in Orlando? The killer went in to buy lots of ammunition and lots of Kevlar armor, and the gun store owner called the FBI. They kind of went and got there, but they never looked at the footage, and they never presented any images of potential terrorists. This guy was a potential terrorist. It had been investigated for 2 years. All they had to do was show an array of photos to the gun store owner weeks in advance of the killing, and they might have stopped this. But the FBI, including Comey, refused to take any responsibility for missteps, and all they continue to ask for is more power to invade our phone calls and more power to invade our privacy. So I was not a huge Comey fan, but I think really both sides lost confidence because he politicized, I think, the Clinton email investigation.
It didn't take long before everyone was saying he got fired because he was getting too close to proving Russian collusion. What have you heard, even among Democrats? I saw Maxine Waters yesterday say she has no evidence of that. What about that leap?
I don't even, not only is there no evidence that the Trump administration or campaign was connected to Russia or committed any crime, no evidence at all of committing a crime. There's not even an accusation that I know of what crime would have potentially been committed. So all this breathless talk about people, there's a lot of hypocrisy going on. Many of these Democrats, including Chuck Schumer, said they lost confidence in Comey a long time ago. Hillary Clinton's been blaming Comey. They should be thanking President Trump for getting rid of Comey because he politicized something that may well have had something to do with Hillary Clinton's loss. So I think it's a lot of crocodile tears and a lot of people saying, you know, they were for getting rid of Comey too, but now they're going to say it's all about this Russia investigation, which hasn't produced one iota of evidence that anybody did anything wrong or broke the law.
The senators and the congressmen that we have been interviewing this morning, you all say the same thing. There's no there. But why, when you talk to Democrats, do they still believe that there is collusion?
It's sour grapes over the election. The whole Russia thing, I think, has been propagated by people who are upset they lost the election. They've sunk their teeth into something. They think they'll eventually find something. But everything is sort of built upon a huge myth as far as I'm concerned. I don't think there's been any facts presented that anybody broke the law. And yet this goes on and on, the clamor now for a special prosecutor and all of this, special investigation. No, I don't think there's any evidence that anybody broke the law.
Sure. Senator, you mentioned a moment ago about how the government could be surveilling people out there. You wonder whether or not you were surveilled, just as Donald Trump said that he was under the impression that he was surveilled, spied on as well.
And I think some of the media have gotten this wrong. When President Trump said he was wiretapped, of course he was. We don't really do old-fashioned wiretapping. There's no wires attached to most of our phones. Wiretapping means that you were surveilled. Someone listened, by using some sort of modern technology that really is not literally a wiretap anymore. But they did listen to Flynn's phone call. And this is an amazing invasion of privacy. And realize what kind of world we're going to live in. And realize a statement that Chuck Schumer said just a week or two ago. He said, don't mess with our intelligence community because they'll get you 6 ways to Sunday if you do, and that Trump's making a big mistake here.
But
this is coming from one of the people, Schumer's one of the 8 people in Congress that know everything about intelligence. When he says that the president should be afraid of the intelligence community, that should make us all wake up, because what about the lesser mortals in this country if they decide they don't like us? What do you think could happen to us if they have that much power?
And when you say you think you were surveilled, do you get a lead on that, or is that a gut feeling, or you just wonder?
We've had 2 reporters call us who say they have sources. I have not seen the sources, so I can't say one way or another. But when I have 2 different reporters calling me saying they have multiple sources saying that the Obama administration was either unmasking or querying presidential candidates, my ears do perk up. Not really for my sake, because I know I haven't done anything wrong, but really for the American public's sake, that if they're doing this to presidential candidates, they could sway presidential elections.
Sure.
See, we're worried about the Russians swaying an election. What about our own intelligence community being used by the previous administration to sway elections? That is a bombshell.
I know you were requesting information. I hope you get that. Let's talk, because we don't have much time. Let's talk about Obamacare, repealing and replacing it. What is it going to take to get you to vote yes for repealing and replacing in the Senate?
One of the basic precepts of Obamacare was that the federal government got involved with buying insurance. I don't think the federal government should be in the business of buying insurance. The insurance companies made $6 billion a year in profit before Obamacare. They now make $15 billion a year.
Oops.
They want to bail out. All this talk of high-risk pools, this fancy, wonky talk about health care, it's basically a subsidy and a bailout for insurance companies. I'm not for bailing out rich companies with taxpayer dollars. There are other ways to fix it. One way I've tried to fix it and want to do is to expand the ability of individuals to leave the individual market and get into a big buying group. Like, what if the NRA could be a buying group? You know, what if credit unions could be a buying group? There's all kinds of ways we can fix this, but the House plan doesn't fix it. It puts a Band-Aid on it, but it's a hundreds of billions of dollar Band-Aid paid for by the taxpayer. That's just not a conservative solution.
Whatever you do, get to work. Don't just sit back. Get your hands dirty, Senator.
All right. We're trying to mix it up.
All right. Thank you.
Paul, thank you.
Thanks.